Welcome back to Free Media. I'm Amber Duke.
And I'm Robby Soave. Well, the Democratic National Committee is meeting in Minneapolis to discuss the future of the party and how it can be more relatable to ordinary Americans, which means, of course, that it's time for a land acknowledgement. Let's watch.
This is Lindy Sowick, who is from the Saginaw Ojibwe Nation, and she's going to deliver our land acknowledgement today. Lindy.
Bonjour, Lindy Sowick, Nindichnikaz, Amekdodam, Saginaw Chippewa Dojaba, Anishinaabe Kwe and Dow. Good morning, DNC members, friends, and relatives. Let's talk about the land for a second. The DNC acknowledges and honors the Dakota Oyate, the Dakota people, who are the original stewards of the lands and waters of Minneapolis. The Dakota cared for the lands, lakes, and the Wakatonka, the Great River, the Mississippi River, for thousands of years before colonization. This land was not claimed or traded. It's a part of a history of broken treaties and promises. And in many ways, we still live in a system built to suppress Indigenous peoples' cultural and spiritual history. As Democrats,
Meanwhile, centrist Democratic consultant group Third Way is circulating a list of lib-coded words and phrases that Democrats should stop using immediately if they want to sound less like progressive academics and more like regular people. Terms include privilege, othering, patriarchy, birthing person, cisgender, body shaming, and systems of oppression.
All right, let's get ready to elect some Democrats, huh?
The Republicans must be just salivating right now as they watch this meeting.
Yeah, I don't care about land acknowledgements. It doesn't bother me one way or the other, but the verdict is in. People hate this. It makes it sound like you hate America, you hate its founding, you're obsessed over the bad or unsavory elements of its past, and normal people don't like it. And I'm sorry, this is a political pep rally. They're trying to come up with a strategy. Yes, Third Way gets it, obviously, and it's true that not like every Democrat uses these words. These words are more associated with a kind of consultant class that gives Democrats bad advice because they hate them because they think they're not Marxist enough. Is basically the issue. But if any Democrats are still using these words, please stop, because I would like our political party system to be more competitive than it is right now.
I was watching some of the clips from the summer meeting earlier this week, and it was just incredible how little they've seemed to learn since November, even though they've been telling us repeatedly that they're doing all of this soul searching and they're going to figure out what's going wrong. But they head into the meeting, by the way, just to set the stage here, right? They're in a massive fundraising deficit. They've got $15 million cash on hand compared to $80 million for the Republican National Committee. They're trying to take up this nationwide gerrymandering fight, which, regardless of how you feel about gerrymandering, if everybody started gerrymandering, the Republicans would end up on the winning side of that issue because their states are just less gerrymandered already.
They're holding space for a lot of intergenerational trauma.
Wow, that's beautiful.
What you're saying.
So good. Yeah, and they also are behind Republicans in voter registration. So they go to this annual meeting. They start with the land acknowledgement. They have a female Lutheran pastor who has pronouns in her bio come up to give the invocation where she doesn't mention God once, I don't think. And then they start railing against the fascist Trump administration, celebrating defund the police, celebrating not cooperating with ICE, basically everything that the voters just told them in November they absolutely despise. Yeah. And it's just incredible how I think willing they are to double down on, as you said, this really small core of progressive based voters who are really out of step with the rest of the American public.
It doesn't sound like they got the memo that wokeness is over. It's dead. It's lost. It's not
Stick a fork in it, turn it over.
It's not a winning corporate strategy. The Democratic Party knows it's not a winning message. It's not.
They even were right on the Cracker Barrel rebrand.
They were right. They're like, do not associate us with this.
We're
absolutely
out on this one,
not. That tells you something. But of course, the progressive activist base of the party. Maybe I don't think it's over for them, and this is the trouble they're going to have, especially as everything becomes, if things do become more gerrymandered, this is going to be bad. It's just going to be bad for me, I guess, but it's bad for both the Republican and the Democratic Party in that it's all going to be safe seats where the craziest lib person and the most hardcore MAGA crazy person are just face no competition because they made the district, so they're the furthest right and furthest blue. Even though, our country is a little bit to the right, but it's a middle ground, like a centrist Democrat can win. It goes back and forth, the presidential elections, like overall, but you're gonna make it so Congress is just composed of people who face no competition internally from the reddest and bluest enclaves. That seems, not that I tend not to be somebody who frets about things like this, but that doesn't seem great.
So we're gonna have
healthy.
a house of really far right-wingers and left-wingers, and then an uber-moderate Senate, basically. Nothing gets done already, but now even more so, nothing will get done.
Nothing gets passed is fine, and even sometimes
is the worst thing.
Sometimes the crazy bluest and crazy reddest people come together to say, like, hey, should we still be giving money to Israel as it is doing what it's doing? And they're the ones who actually ask questions about that, whereas the so-called sensible moderates are fine to continue policies that I think are really bad. So I'm not even necessarily disdaining that, but it seems, I hate using the word anti-democratic because do I even care that much? But it seems not the best system.
It should just
what I mean?
I mean, can we just have like contiguous county lines and stop drawing snakes around states? I mean, that would be
It should
nice,
be like my D&D maps, just a grid. That would really punish the Dems.
Oh my
I think that would be unfair to them.
Yeah. I just think that like Vice President J.D. Vance must be watching this meeting and just salivating.
Of course.
Like he must be so thrilled at what they might put up for 2028.
They need it.
By the way, I was driving into the city yesterday, and I take 395 north, and there's always a No Kings protest up on the overpass. And their signs used to say things like No Kings or No Fascists, and they would always have a Ukraine flag because whatever, I mean, they're like obsessed with Ukraine. But they had a different sign yesterday. And the sign said, Newsom's is bigger.
Oh my God.
So this is what we're doing now.
Oh my God. Wow. They love that guy.
They do.
He is getting through to the active. Good for him, I guess.
I guess.
In terms of him winning the nomination, his chances are rising, I think.
We'll see if that can sustain for 3 years, though.
Yeah. Painful, unfortunate, unenjoyable. Welcome to our lives. More free media right after this.